show with
It's
these
disgusting.
ladies.
Just say it. Like, stop beating around it. I'll say
I'm
it.
like,
This lady's
well,
titty.
Miss Fink's church thing was like this, like a strapless little bustier type thing.
Well, 'cause that's the thing. When they first come on, it's hilarious to me because Coraline shakes Wybie like it's a joke, and she's like, she's practically wearing nothing. And I'm like, no,
and
she's
then the way
fully
when
clothed.
Miss Forcible comes out,
She got stalled on her nipples.
Wearing nothing. She has. That's it. She's got 3 little tabs. She's got 3 little spots.
yeah, she got a little thing.
Two to cover her, one to cover her vajayjay, and that is literally it. And I'm like,
this is when John is like, is this a kid?
I was just like, huh.
like
That's pretty. That's a lot of exposure even for an animation.
Welcome everybody back to another fantabulous mother-filled episode of Family Reelz.
Yeah.
I like this shirt. Makes me look kind of like
what's going on there? What is?
I don't know. It's the shirt. I just haven't put it on in a long time. It's really tight.
That's why you see.
All right.
Wait, this
my shirt. My shirt.
Oh, okay.
Everything's everything.
Could you get your chesticles off the screen there? Golly, Jonna, I will hurt you. I will hurt.
Like since we're showing shirts.
Well, see, I didn't stand up or none of that stuff.
You didn't have to.
No, everybody has to show off their shirt.
Yeah, what's yours?
Oh my God, this is it.
No, I didn't see yours, Donna.
I can't see what it is.
Yours.
Tiger. Look, tiger.
I see.
Okay,
my shirt.
Yes.
It's my Avatar, The Last Airbender shirt. So
I can't see it.
I wear it like every other day, not special.
Anyway, and then you got your fancy hat or whatever that is.
A headband.
Oh, headband.
It's pretty cool.
Right here. What are you doing?
Oh,
the disrespect. I had to fight 17 ninjas for this. You
had to what?
I had to fight some ninjas.
Anyway.
You don't watch Naruto. You don't know anything. You don't know what's going on.
Come on, Mom.
Get it together, lady.
You should know at least that.
Naruto? Nah. I know the name.
Anyway, Jonna, what?
It's a beautiful Sunday morning.
You got that. You got that.
This morning.
You got that airport alcohol.
It's good stuff.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna disagree. I don't know what you're drinking, so I'm gonna say, do your thing. You try to get me to drink that, whatever that stuff that Dad be having. That stuff is gross.
What is it?
Whatever that drink is, I don't know. It's somebody's name or something like that.
Tito's?
Yeah, the Tito's stuff. I'm not drinking that shit.
Donna knows that.
Shit made me throw up.
Whatever. It's cool. It's cool. I like Tito's. It's cool.
All right. So, yeah. The theme is evil mothers.
I said mad moms.
Mad moms does sound way better.
Yeah. Well, why did you?
Because mad could be mad. It could be evil. It could be crazy.
There's a lot of different things that go with that. I just said evil because of the movie we're doing today. Which,
definitely.
Since we're here.
Coraline Jones always dreamed of finding a better world.
Ew. She just touched him.
I know, right? To the shower.
A world more exciting than this. But never did she imagine that she'd discover it in her own home.
Okay, sidebar. I kind of miss when trailers had the voiceovers.
Yeah,
you don't get that anymore. Now it's like the lines of the movie. It's always like, if it's in like an action movie, it'll be the guy being like, we never thought it would come to this. And then it'd be like the whole trailer. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
missed these
true.
voice actors. They were pretty cool. All right, back
Yeah, especially the voice.
yeah, that guy. I can do his job.
A parallel
You got a
place
voice
We've
for
been
it.
waiting for you, Coraline.
where parents are always fun
I love your garden! Can't believe you did this!
and everything is so good.
Baby.
It just can't be real.
Mom? You're just in time for supper, dear.
You're not my mother.
Ah,
My mother doesn't have. But
Buttons? Do you like them? I'm your other mother, silly.
that's the thing that this girl
is a dream come true.
That alone scared me.
You do
Yeah.
like it here, don't you, Coraline? You could stay here forever.
That alone
There's
freaks
one
me out. I don't
tiny
like
little thing you
anything
need to do.
replacing eyeballs.
Black
Let
is
eyeballs be eyeballs.
she's got this whole world where everything's better, but it's all a trap.
all of
You
them.
may come out when you've learned to be a loving daughter.
From
I feel like
Henry
this is a
Selick, the
trailer.
director of The Nightmare
Yeah, and
Before
I was just about to
Christmas,
say that
comes
too.
a world of
This is
It's too
extraordinary
much.
imagination,
Yeah, it gives everything away.
Pretty much.
spooky secrets,
Who are you?
You're in terrible danger, girl.
Funny. You gotta assume
That's
it's
enough.
going,
That's enough.
yeah. That was
I feel like I watched the whole movie with this trailer.
in the trailer.
And that's kind of the problem too, because even like I guess I don't know if you've been paying attention, but they've been talking about it with the Doctor Strange thing, how they're giving away so much of this movie that most
Oh
people
yeah.
are like, nah, I'm not even gonna go see it now. It's not worth it because I've
Yeah.
seen everything. Like they're telling you all the
But I
secret
mean,
characters.
you usually find when you see things. I mean, obviously,
I don't
there's
know.
so much more
I be
feeling.
forgetting trailers though when I watch movies.
Well, see, it's different though. I feel like because sometimes, yeah, they'll give you a little something, and then they kind of just like leave it up to you. But this is just they're like the Marvel is literally just confirming everything. They're like, yeah, that surprised you.
Well, and yeah, and especially if you know anything and have any background, it's like, oh, okay, they're gonna do this and they're gonna show this
They're
and
doing
all
too much,
that.
'cause
I
they
gotta
got.
say something
Go ahead.
for the record. I told John, I almost was like, I'm not gonna watch this movie. Like,
You
I'm like mad. I'm like, I don't want to watch.
This is,
But
but
I
then
told, what?
you got to. This
I
is
told
what
her, I was like, we have to watch it in the daytime.
We didn't even get to watch it in the daytime because
I
the
watched
way
It
our
was
timing
earlier
works.
in
I
the
watched
evening,
this
but
morning.
yeah, because I didn't want that stuff to be the last
No.
thing on my head before going to
After
bed.
after we watched the movie, she we put on something else that's funny.
Yeah, no, I can't.
I mean, I don't feel like this movie is nearly as creepy as it seems.
Nah, but
I
it
will
is.
say, one of my favorite things, my favorite memories of this movie. I've seen this movie a bunch of times. Amira used to watch it all the
All
time.
the time. I
Really?
remember that.
But there's one day,
She asked me, and I was like, no.
there was one day where she was watching it, and she looked genuinely afraid. And it's the first time I had ever seen her watch the movie and be like, "Wait a minute, this is what's actually going on." Like she wasn't aware. It was pretty fun, like because she's seen this movie 100 times, and then
Suddenly, it occurred to her that it was scary.
she was like, "Oh wait, I'm supposed to be scared."
No, the first time I remember, like the first time I watched it, I was just like, oh, cool, Coraline, see what's up with that, another animated movie. And then I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is scary as hell. I feel like they should have put a warning on this.
I don't know,
Yes.
like because I feel like the book probably is like way scary.
Oh,
And
hey,
I would-
Darker.
And I kind of want to read it because I feel like watching this movie, I still don't.
That's the
a whole
worst.
lot.
Watching movies.
I feel like there could have
scary
been more. It
books. Oh.
could have been more in depth. It could be elaborated.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I
it's
mean.
gonna go.
I feel
Absolutely.
like after seeing this movie so many times, I'm still like, okay, I still don't understand. Like I'm not 100% sure why or what, but I mean, sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
It is.
I think I know what you mean. It's like they gave a light background.
Well,
thing.
it's almost like it's like a folktale, where it has that thing where it's vague and it kind of teaches kids a lesson kind of thing. And
The moral of the
but
story.
where it could be like a really deep, dark story
Be
to it.
happy. Yeah, parents.
But and that could be true, but I feel like we never get that from the story. We just kind of get like, that's what you get, kid. Like, you know what I mean? It's more of a just like, hey, stop going
Well,
through
it
holes
kind
in
of
the
is
wall. Like,
because most kids,
Yeah.
most people as children, I'm sure you guys as well, had that thought, like, I wish I had another mother or something like that.
No, not really, but I don't know.
No, like,
Look, you know what? I mean,
you can
you
say
wouldn't
it
need a
now.
story to teach me no lesson about crawling through
No.
tiny doors and houses I don't know. Like I would not. You wouldn't catch me crawling through some scary trap door like that,
No.
I feel
especially not by myself.
I don't think I've ever had the thought that I wanted like another mother. There've been times where I'd be like, I hate it here, but I don't think I've ever been like, because I feel like it's not you, it's a mom thing, because every kid I knew had the same problem. So why would I want why would I want their mother? Like, no, I'm just like, hey, can we just get rid of parents altogether? But then, like, that's
Wow.
also a dumb idea that only kids have, like, where you're just like, we don't need parents.
Like Jimmy Neutron.
Or even like that episode of Justice League, and then you see how terrible it is. Everything's fun for a while, but then it's like, all right,
It gets old.
yeah,
I kind of miss somebody cooking for me.
man, those are the days. All right, Johnny, you want to do your thing? I know we saw the trailer, but I feel like I still don't know.
Well, if the trailer didn't give enough away about this little girl, she's bored of her life, and when she moves to this house with her family and finds this trap door basically and goes into it and has like some kind of crazy alternate world that's way cooler than normal life. And then she sees how much that becomes a problem. So that's all I'm going to give away.
I mean, that's
Pretty good.
yeah, that is I think that's a fair synopsis of what this movie is in essentially. It really is. I don't know, man. I will say this. Dakota Fanning had a moment in time, and she's never gonna get that back.
She was really good as a kid. I
that
could,
was
like,
her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she was. There was a moment where it was like everything under the sun.
She was a little it girl.
Freaking Dakota Fanning was it. I was kind of over her though when they made her the voice of Lilo in the sequel to Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, she did the voice in the second one, and I was like,
Didn't know
no,
that.
I'm not in. I'm not in for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So there's that. I mean, Terry Hatcher, who I'm not really like super familiar with. Maybe Mom, you know who Terry Hatcher is?
Yeah, Terry Hatcher from Lois and Clark.
Wait, that's her?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, I never knew her name. I always thought her name was Lois.
And that other show that the girl that's the woman that's married to Tony Parker, what's her name?
Eva Longoria.
That show they were on.
Desperate Housewives. Was that
Desperate Housewives? Yeah.
Never saw an episode of that.
Oh, well, you know, I imagine you wouldn't.
I only knew it existed because at a point there was like also like an Eva Longoria thing where everybody was like, "Ooh, Eva Longoria, she's the hot stuff," and I'm like, I guess
she's alright, she cool.
She cute.
That was a good show though.
All right.
I mean, it wasn't the kind of show you would watch. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah.
It was a soap opera.
That's crazy. I've never ever. Usually, I just come across anything and everything, even soap operas. But Desperate Housewives is one of those ones I never like.
Well,
I watched some.
You know how long ago that was?
That was like 2000.
And they haven't rebooted it yet.
I mean, you know it's coming. Just
So you know Dynasty. Maybe you've heard that because they've rebooted it. And stuff like that. Yeah, they did.
Whack.
Stupid. Yeah.
All right. So this was my pick for our Mad Moms for the obvious reasons, and
because you like diabolical stuff.
Well, I was struggling to find a movie, and then I just thought of the one with the worst mom I could think of right off the top. Yeah, that'll work.
Pretty good one. Pretty good one.
Yeah.
And because this movie starts pretty decently. I like the opening with the doll, the making of the doll thing. And
that was scary just to start off with. Like I was already freaking out. Like gave me little chills and stuff.
Oh, shoot.
But it was like I liked it because what it was kind of creepy because she like takes a doll, which I think was the black girl's doll.
Okay, y'all stay there. I forgot my note.
Okay, get your note. And yeah, I think it was
so once she gets a new kid, she starts working. She starts working on a new doll.
See, and that's also what I gathered from it because it feels like that doll because it had the braids and everything. So she was taking it out and then she turns it inside out, which was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then instead of like she fills it with the sawdust instead of the fluff and stuff like that. But as far as opening scenes, I think this was pretty cool because it's just like it kind of just puts you right into the movie without having to have like a bunch of meaningless opening credits over like a black background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like movies do that where it's like it'll be semi spooky. It's like tree shadows, and then it'll just be all names and stuff. Like, yeah, give me something else. This was at least decent to have that.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like it's a part of the movie, but it's like you'll see how it's relevant later on.
It makes sense to the movie. Like it's the opening, so it's not super important, but it's also somehow like integral golly, to the story. Jeez, what is that? Is it this wine?
Yeah. So,
what are you drinking?
Huh?
What are you drinking?
Oh, sangria.
Oh, it is wine.
Okay.
What time is it?
All right. So moving forward, we don't really know anything except we're at this place called what is it called? The Pink Palace.
They call it the Pink Palace, but I don't know if that's like the actual name, but it does say it on there. But it's called the Pink Palace. But I'm pretty sure when it was built, it wasn't the Pink Palace.
No, she probably named it when she bought the building. She was the owner.
Yeah,
what's her name? Miss Pink.
Is that her name?
Miss Pink.
No,
they don't. No, it was Spink in the other world.
Well, yeah, the other one
was. No, it is Miss Pink. Her name is.
They don't own it. They don't own it.
Then who owns it? We don't know who owns it.
Yes,
huh?
we do know who owns it.
Who?
YB's grandmother. She owns it.
Isn't that his grandmother?
No, she said that's just where she used to live.
Yeah, she used to live there. She
I thought those ladies were. Oh, okay.
Those ladies.
Those ladies. The lady.
YB is black.
Yeah.
YB
is black. Hey, that voice. Who does that voice?
I don't know. I looked it up, and it's some kid I've never heard of before. But
I feel like he's been in other stuff.
Well, he sounds like he has a voice for that. Yeah, well, that's the thing because he says it. We're skipping ahead a little bit, but he does say it like she usually doesn't rent to people with kids.
Yeah, I did remember that
because of what happened to her sister.
Our twin sister.
Her twin sister goes missing.
Right.
She went missing. He was like, well, because he does say, let's skip ahead because it's a lot of this is just really her. They move. She's going around
exploring.
Yeah, she's exploring. She picks up this stick, a water dowser, because she's looking for a well, and it works. Am I the only one who thought that? Like, she got this water dowser, and it's supposed to be like it's just a stick, but it legitimately worked. She found the well.
Oh, well, he showed her where it was. Oh, you mean her getting to where it was?
Yeah, she was already there. So did it work?
Maybe she's a water witch because she was saying that.
Or maybe she just fumbled upon it.
I don't know. I feel like the stick. I like to think that the stick worked.
That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't even think about that.
That's where we meet. Well, we meet the cat because she throws a rock and hits the cat, and we also meet YB, what the fuck kind of name is that?
Wyborn. Yeah, YB for short.
Is that a thing? Like, Mom, you've been around. Do you know any country people with the name Wyborn? Like, I've never heard a name called Wyborn. Wow. And then it's the easiest joke to make. She was like, "Why were you born?" I'm like, "Oh, you know what? that kid's gonna do some self-harm later in his life, man. Like, it's the easiest joke, and it's like one of the worst because we don't even know where his mom is, as far as we know. That might be a soft spot for him. Like, it's
that was pretty rough.
She's kind of an asshole.
She's kind of the jerk.
Oh,
Coraline, she's an
oh,
asshole.
she is. She
Entire
is.
movie. She's an asshole to her parents. She's an asshole to all the kids, and like this is the kind of movie that only works to like a kid's lens, because it's like to a kid you're like, yeah, her parents are stuffy. All they do is sit there and work.
Work.
Blah blah
The
blah.
nerve
But
of them.
like, yeah, but like from an adult perspective, I'm like, why won't she just let them get this done so they can have all the time they need? Like if she would just leave them alone, they'd be done with work,
Right.
and she wouldn't have to be bothering them all the time. She know where her food comes from, like, you know what I mean?
For
I
real,
don't think
like
so.
they both
Just
look
like most
exhausted.
kids. Just like kids think money literally must grow on trees, or because they
Or
figure
you
you
could just
always got
easily
it.
just go to work and come back with bukus of money.
I will say that I think we had we were informed enough to know that we weren't like rolling in dough, but we were also sheltered enough to not believe that we were poor.
Remember? Do you remember that experiment we did with the life money with you and
Yeah,
Malcolm?
it was terrible. It was terrible. And then I realized later on in life that you kind of copied that from the Cosby Show. Wasn't even original.
Well, I wouldn't say I copied it. It happened before, but it's the only way to really, tangibly show you that, okay, you get money and then it gets taken.
But I feel like I already knew that. Like I didn't like I did, because let's be real. Let's be real. When it came to money, even as a kid, I was very good at saving it to get what I want, all that stuff. I knew I worked. I went to work with Dad to try and earn money because I knew that money doesn't grow on trees. That you just can't get it. I was very
And also, we did it, not just because we didn't have it like that, but I never thought that it was okay to just give to kids, because I've seen what that looks like on kids.
and I still don't. I still don't
And they
think
have no appreciation. It's just they
you
expect.
get everything. You got
Yeah,
Kids don't
and it's like
appreciate shit.
sometimes you got to work for things, and that concept has to be started early in life, because if you just lay back like, and I just get, and that's how they think it happens. And it's like,
I mean,
no, you don't wake up in the morning and just because you cute, you just get stuff. You just gotta. Some things you gotta, and it worked. You guys, even dealing with Malcolm, who wasn't always easy to work with when it came to saving, you guys managed.
I mean, we did, and I feel like that's just this kid thing, because I like I said, I don't think I ever had that. Like I never asked for a lot. Like anything I asked for was like once in a while, and it was usually something big that I knew I wasn't gonna get anyway. Like when like the Nintendo 64 came out, and I was like, oh, I want it, and I knew I wasn't gonna get it, but you gotta ask.
I would ask for small things, try to get small toys every time we went to the store and stuff like that, because I'm like, it's small, $5. Come on, man.
That's a waste of time. Like, you know what like small toys are a waste of time, because it's like, yeah, you have them, but you just have a bunch of stuff you're never gonna use.
What are you talking about? I use everything. Okay, I found you.
Collect. You collect. Goddamn order.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Put them in this spot, in that spot. Okay, don't touch it. And somebody moves it at a millimeter. Who touched my toy?
Oh man, that used to be my favorite game.
It's you.
Swapping two of those stuffed animals and waiting for the freak out to come. That was a classic game. Oh my god. Woo.
You're a terrible person.
All right, so we get through this. This is the part where YB basically tells her like, oh, my grandmother usually doesn't writ to families with kids, and she's like, why? I was like, oh, I can't tell you because bad stuff. He was like, well, you started talking about it. You got to start finishing. I hate that. You can't mention something and then be like, never mind, and then just try to.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just have to go back, because the first thing I noticed after the intro was the man on top building. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh,
That
what
dude,
the hell is going on there? And is this a real person? I was like,
did you see it though? When the truck came up, he was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
what is happening here?
Dude is a trip. He is voiced by Ian McShane, who is fucking amazing at everything.
I know that name.
yeah.
You trust you've seen Ian McShane in a
Hold
lot
up.
of stuff. Okay, so let me try to think of something you've seen. Did you ever see We Are Marshall?
Yes, of course.
Ian McShane is
Wait,
the
did I?
dad.
No, I didn't see that one.
See how she said, "Of course."
Are
Like
you
I
it
was
was,
looking it
thinking
up?
we are, or I'm thinking Remember the Titans for some reason. No.
yeah,
Oh,
Ian
oh,
McShane, he's a
Show
character.
me.
yes, I know
Show
who you're
me.
talking about. I
Show
found him.
me. Show me. Show me.
Show me, show me, show me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
him.
he's in a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff, and he's
yeah,
good.
he is. He's in a lot.
I like Ian
So
McShane,
he
but
was,
he's
what was his name, Mr.
Babinski.
Bobinski? Yes, yes.
Babinski, vaguely Russian. Did you just try to be sly about eating right now, John?
Like nobody's gonna notice because we're talking, although we're all on screen.
I know. Let's get a closer. Go ahead, take another bite, John. Take another bite. Go ahead, do it. Do it.
Nah, I'm
Oh
good.
my god.
I'm good. I just need a taste.
Wow,
Just a little taste, just a little bump, calm my nerves.
wow. She's
Got the
trying her
eye
best to
muscle
eat.
God, hilarious.
All
So
right,
yeah,
moving
that was that.
forward.
I just had to say that because that was like at the top of my notes. I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, what the hell is that?
Like,
He is like really
I'm
tall
like,
and
is he
shaped.
real or is he some figment of somebody's imagination?
the movie makes it weird to me in a way where I'm like, I'm still not 100% sure he's real, but I guess he is. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's
Because
also
he was a weird looking character. Like,
look,
why were his legs like that?
well, not even just that. He's blue.
He is.
Yes, and he is blue.
Nobody else is.
Nobody else. He
there
like he
was a,
belongs in Doug's world.
oh my god. Like, but there was a theory that because he's Russian or something, that he escaped Chernobyl, so he's like radioactive and sick, and that's why he's blue. I don't know where there's any truth to that or not. I don't know if that's what Neil Gaiman wrote in the book or anything. So I don't know.
Right. Wow.
It's a theory.
Okay.
He just
Yeah.
looks like an interesting character. I mean, I think that's what they wanted to do with him, is make him a little mysterious and a little different. And
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody here is very exaggerated to one degree or another,
To say the least, yes.
especially these old ladies or one old lady.
Oh my gosh.
Christ in a
Yeah.
basket.
Oh, I
Kids
love that.
my ass. Like,
this is not a kid's movie.
Yeah,
Now I'm looking at it.
what was it rated? PG, right? I'm pretty sure it was a PG rating. But
Yeah,
this,
it was weird though. Like that. Well, we'll get to that.
yeah.
Moving forward, but
I know
we'll meet the other
Oh, and then
characters.
after he's talking to Wybie and that whole thing, and then his grandmother calls him, and then it's
Why,
like, oh, I gotta go, and then he's like, oh, something, and he's like, oh, you better. What did he say? You be careful about the sticks you pick up or something.
it's poison oak.
Because it's poison oak. And she was like, and her hand. Well, it wasn't even red yet. That was later.
Yeah, and because this movie jumps. I don't know how much time has passed, but because it is mentioned at some point that the other mother had been watching her for weeks. So I don't know how long they've been here, but I guess weeks. Like it doesn't really.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, because it made it seem like in the beginning it's like the moving truck comes in, and all of a sudden she runs out the door, and I was like, that was kind of quick, and they already got the house set up, and yeah.
But that's the thing.
I mean, they don't look like they got a lot of stuff though.
Nah.
Well,
and then because the mother mentions that she got her poison oak yesterday, or like a couple of days ago.
Okay.
She's trying to get tools, and she was like, you were just out there yesterday and stuff. So like the timeline is weird to me because I'm still like, okay, I thought it was all happening the same day. I didn't know what was going, like, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
So yeah, we get the not the montage, but like the her parents don't have time for her
right.
scene. It's like mom is working and she's being a little brat, and then her dad's working and he's being a little more patient with her, but he's still being a brat about it. Because when she started that door, I was like, oh my god.
And then okay, wait. So at this point, her mom gives her something. She's like, "Oh, the boy dropped it off next door. Wybie, dropped that doll off that looks
Right.
like her."
Which
And at this point, okay, you know what's weird? Oh no,
Yeah.
he does give it
He
to her.
gives
Never
it to
mind.
her, don't
I
he?
was gonna mention something else,
no, he
but
doesn't give it to her directly
Oh.
because mom says, "Oh, this boy dropped this off
Oh,
for
it's
you
like in something.
yesterday." See, that's why the time is so weird.
Oh,
God,
okay.
like she does say yesterday, but yeah, she does drop it off. That's a red flag though. This dude has a fucking voodoo doll of you just lying around. Like
that's
Yeah.
what I thought too. Like you don't even know.
He said he found it in his grandmother's stuff.
that's even creepier because I was
Yeah.
like, okay, if you're coming to the conclusion, which I didn't, that YB is black, I'd be like,
Yeah, I didn't either.
maybe his
At
grandma
all.
did some voodoo witch doctor shit. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, I was kind of thinking that too a little bit.
That was
Mm.
the first thing I thought. There's a doll of her in her exact coat. Like, what is this?
Honestly, I
She
think
just
I
moved
remember
there from
thinking that
another
it was
state.
his grandma doing
Yeah.
this.
You see, that would have, I wouldn't say make more sense, but that would have been like a thing that would have
More
tied in.
logical to think.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel like I've seen this movie a lot, and I've never been like super been like, oh
It's
man, I
like there are a lot of unanswered questions.
yeah, and I don't like that. Like it
Like,
bothers me.
how did that other mother get that doll over there
Yeah,
to be in the grandmother's stuff?
that's yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so
They
basically,
didn't think of everything. I mean, maybe in the book again,
that's what I'm saying.
there
Once
might
again,
have,
book
been
is
some
probably
more
way
reference.
better.
Yeah.
She goes exploring the house and she finds the door and she bothers her mom about the door. And she's just like, all right, here you go.
Oh,
Door.
How
yeah,
she know
door.
which key it is? There's so many keys in that
That's
thing.
true too. Why does she have so many keys in that? She just got there. Like, I don't understand any, or maybe all those keys were already
I
there.
think they were there.
That's dumb.
But how
After
she know
that.
exactly which one?
But well, it's obviously the one with the button on it, right?
Oh, true. But how does she know at this
She
No,
didn't
point?
know that then.
That's what I'm saying. I'm being sarcastic. Like she has no way to know that was the exact key that would open that door. She didn't even know that door was there. Like, so,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? She was just like, "Oh well, this is the one."
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
time.
Then she could have. Oh, then it was brick behind
Yeah,
the wallpaper once they,
it
you
was
know.
sealed off from the other
Yeah.
house.
And then I
Um,
just put my next note is when she went to bed. I was like, her room is depressing.
It's very depressing. It's like gray, and there's like nothing in there. It's
Yeah.
just,
that whole house was pretty depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, from the outside, it looked like a pretty decent house, but then it's not. And there's nothing you can do about it.
It didn't help the way the mom and dad looked because they both looked
Oh my
super
God.
exhausted and sickly.
Well, the mom was one thing. She looked hurt and irritated, like most moms always look. But the dad looked like he was on the verge of death.
Yeah.
This nigga had the same neck like the condors from the Jungle Book. Like, yo, what is happening? And I was like, ew, dude, you're gross to look at. You're very gross to look at. Ugh.
Yeah, that was weird. So then
Yeah.
she wakes up she goes to sleep, and then that's when she wakes up to the mice and then follows them through the door. See, already craziness.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to say it out loud, but there's only a certain type of people who do that kind of stuff. And it's not us. It's not us.
I know who don't. That's what
I'm
I'm
like,
saying.
so number one, there's a rat
What would
in
you?
my room.
Jonna would have been in my bed.
Shoot, I would have sprinted there just going through the hallway.
Like, and then so she follows this mouse through this door, and she's just like, and it's looking all magical and whatnot, and she's just like, whoa, and I'm like,
No, I couldn't
Yeah.
even go further. Once I got and I saw that weird stuff that looks like the same place,
I would have closed.
but not. All right, good. I'm backing on up. Nope.
yeah,
I'm gonna close it up, paint over it real quick, and forget I ever saw it.
Hope those bricks come back.
put another layer of bricks on there. It's like some bricks, cement, maybe get some wood going, a couple barbed wire fences. No, I know Spooky when I see it, and that's not.
Yeah, because that's not normal.
She
So
goes
then she
through
goes
here.
out and
Yeah.
and ends up in the she get up in the kitchen and then she's like, "Oh, you're just in time,
Yeah, no,
Coraline."
she's in the house and she's just looking around like, oh man, this house looks like my house, but with color.
Yeah.
And she
Looking
gets in there, she's
lively.
like, because she says something smells good, and she's like, oh, you're just in time for dinner.
Yeah.
And like, huh? Then it's like, she was like, oh, I am your mother, silly. She was like, you're not my mother. My mother doesn't, well, we saw it in the trailer.
Right.
My mother doesn't have buttons for eyes. And I'm like, that's the thing that set you off, was the button eyes, not the fact that you should be asleep. Your mother will probably be sleeping. She doesn't
And
cook.
your mother would not be up cooking like that.
Yeah, she specifically says she doesn't cook.
Yeah.
The dad cooks, she cleans, apparently. And that's how it works, I guess.
That's a trade-off.
But yeah, the red flags were not even red flags, just like, interesting. All right. She was like, I'm your other mother.
Yeah, that already.
No.
Silly.
The button eyes alone.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, oh, hell.
Yeah. No, not the buttons for eyes.
Mm-mm.
But yeah.
That's scary.
She goes in there and she's just like, yeah, I'm your other mother. She's like, other mother? She's like, yeah, everyone has an other mother. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Where's my
First
other
of
mother?
all, not.
Oh, you say that like it's a fact that everyone knows.
Yeah, duh. Everybody has another mother.
Everybody has another mother. Like, get out of here with that nonsense, man. This whole scene kind of irritates me a lot because she's like, go get your dad, go get your other father. And this guy is playing the piano. He was like, well, no, the piano plays you.
He plays me. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm like, oh, you
like,
weird. His hands all.
You have to wake up. You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up, because this is where shit starts going off the rails, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Except
doing it.
She thought it was great.
Well, she's a stupid kid, and stupid kids have stupid kid thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the food is good. Everyone's having a good time. The dad has a magic piano or something like that. He's also got the buttons for eyes. You know what I mean? That's none of that's bothering her, because there's
the
cake,
buttons.
there's mango, a
mango milkshake. I've never heard of that.
That sounds disgusting. I'm gonna be
They didn't say smoothie. They said milkshake.
Yeah, smoothie is one thing.
Milkshake? I've never heard anybody specifically crave a mango
You get a
milkshake.
chocolate, you get a regular, you get a milk, you get a vanilla, you get a chocolate, you get a strawberry. Those are your milkshakes. That's it. That's all you're allowed to
That's all you can do.
And in certain places, you might be able to get like a mint chocolate chip milkshake, but who would want to do that, you grossies?
People, gross.
But yeah, you're disgusting if you got milk.
I just
What
can't.
mint
Mint, chocolate.
If
I
you eat
still
anything mint and
don't
sweet,
get how that ever became a thing.
if you eat anything sweet after you brush your teeth, you're sicko.
Right.
It's the same thing.
That's exactly. Ugh. Like somebody we know, when we would get ice cream, remember she always be like, "Oh, I want mint and chip." It's like, ew.
She really like. I'm mad that human beings think it's okay.
Who are we talking about?
Oh,
Kyra.
your little sister.
Kyra, man, she chooses over everything else.
Yeah, it's like,
chip.
and then choose it over anything. Like, wow.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. That's disgusting.
I was like, that's a problem. That's a problem right there. People are going to see you and think that's a red flag.
Pouring your milk before your sip.
All right. Yeah. So she drinks this nasty, disgusting milkshake, and she goes off to bed after they give her some mud for her hand and her poison oak, because apparently
she just magically.
She's got the
magic mud.
Clears it, cures it, whatever.
Yeah. So she goes to bed. She wakes up. She's in her boring ass house again, and it's the contrast is disgusting, because it's like while she sleeps, it fades away, and it's just like boring again. It's just I couldn't do it as a kid. That's a place you just can't live. You would lose your mind.
No.
Yeah, so she goes back and she starts being kind of a little bitch to her mom because she's just like, my other mother would. Like, you
Oh
mouth.
wait, this is when she meets oh well, is that before
Her
and then
neighbors.
she meets Babinski?
She meets her neighbors because she
Well,
gives
that's
them
her
their mail.
mom told her to
Oh,
go and
that's
see
right.
what's up with the
Go
neighbors, go meet the neighbors or whatever.
right.
And she sees that there's mail, so she's like, "Oh,
Oh
Bobinski,
yeah.
all this Bobinski mail, and it stinks. I guess
Because
it's cheese for his rats."
she said something funny too because she was like, didn't you say he was crazy? It's like, no, I didn't say he was crazy. I said he was drunk. And I'm like, once again, who is this movie for? I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I was like, okay.
Why are we talking about this man being drunk in this kid's movie? So
Wow.
she meets him and he's just like, yeah, I'm weird. And yeah, the mice told me to tell you to watch your back.
They said no. They said he said specifically the mice say don't go through the
Don't
little
go
door.
through the little door, yes. And
Which
then
is even weirder because I'd be like, okay, I'm the fuck out here. Number one, I thought I dreamt that. Number two,
right, how do you
mice
know
are
about the
talking
little
to you.
and then she said something like, oh, I'm not or whatever. He's like, oh, or maybe not. Or something, maybe
I
I'm
think she was
wrong.
like kind of like acting dumb, like what little
Okay, she was
door?
like, I don't know what you're talking about. She was like, all right,
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe it's different, Caroline. He keeps calling her Caroline.
Oh
And
yeah.
he was like, maybe it's a
Something.
different Caroline then. Whatever, lady. You do what you want to do.
Yeah, that
He
was
quickly
crazy.
dismisses it.
Yeah, I mean, she dismissed it. So
So then she goes on to meet Miss Pink and Miriam.
well,
Uh, right?
I think it is Finks.
Her
And
name
other
is her name
Oh
is
my
April.
gosh.
It is Spink.
April, right, and Miriam, but I think
but
her last
they
name is
go by
Pink.
their last names. Like, let me see, because it should be up here.
Yeah.
Where
It's
okay,
Miss
Miss
Pink,
Pink
okay, and
and
Who?
Miss Forcible. Forcible.
Oh
Forcible.
yeah, Forcible. Yeah.
I wonder if they're like if those names are supposed to mean something. If they're like clever hidden clues somewhere. Who fucking knows?
I
Be
don't
cool,
know.
but maybe it's just creative names.
Sure.
So yeah, so then that happens, and they go over there. Oh yeah, and she has the taxidermy dogs.
Ah,
God.
That was hella creepy.
with like little angel wings they crocheted for each of them when they die.
That is so weird,
And
man.
she was like, were they real? She's like, "Are they real?" She's like, "They were," or
Oh
but we
no,
just love them so much,
yeah.
or
She's kind of like she says, oh, they're all our dogs, and we couldn't bear to part with them, so we had them stuffed.
I could part.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
got to
want to
part.
see that
You got
thing hanging on my wall.
like, that's such a weird thing to do. I don't want to keep that reminder. Like first off, and it's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
weird.
Added stuff. That's still a living thing, or it was a living thing. And you just got it lying, or it's got to stink. I don't know. I don't know the rules of taxidermy, but that can't be cool.
And then she reads her tea leaves.
Ugh.
And remember they kept on going back and forth, and she was
At
saying,
first, she saw a hand, Miss Spink, April. She sees a hand, which is right because it looked like that hand that was creating the doll in the beginning.
"Oh,
And then Miriam, she turns it upside down. She's like, "It's a giraffe." So but she was
they
saying,
were
"You don't have your
arguing."
glasses on. You can't see right. You don't have your glasses on." So they were right. They did see that there was a
And she
hand.
said she was in danger.
Yeah.
Was there also a giraffe I didn't know about though? Like were
Well,
they
she
both
turned it
right?
upside down and she was like, "It's a
It looked like
giraffe," because
the
No,
they
shape
that's
were
what
of
I'm
a
like
saying.
giraffe.
that.
Okay, was there also a giraffe in this movie somewhere that I just was like unaware
She
of?
didn't have her glasses on, so she couldn't really see her future right. But April was right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff too because it's like, I think when the other mother when they first meet, she talks about playing a game. She mentions hide and seek in the rain, and she goes, "Oh, it's not raining." And then that thunderbolt comes, and that thunderbolt is in the shape of that hand as well. So it's like a lot. There's like a lot of little things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then next, because when she leaves there, and runs into YB outside.
Mhm.
Why? What's with the cloudy? Yeah, fog all of a sudden.
I don't
It's
know
like
what.
never addressed. Like,
Where is it that they moved to? Because maybe that has something to do with it.
I don't know where they went to. They never did. I don't think they ever said where they went to.
Where they're at? Yeah, I don't think they did either, and it kind of
Mm-mm.
bothers me a little bit
Like
because I
she
feel like
came from. Where'd she come from?
It's a small town
Detroit.
area.
She came from where?
She
Detroit.
came from Detroit,
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Detroit.
and then I don't know where they're at now. Like
Oh,
nowhere.
Pontiac, Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what. Because when she said
Detroit. Well,
Pontiac, I said
Detroit
Michigan.
Zoo thing. That's what it was.
Yeah.
She heard that Snow Globe went to
Yeah.
Detroit Zoo.
Well, it's a suburb of Detroit. Yeah.
You might as well be from Detroit, but you can't say white people are from Detroit in that kind of movie. You gotta be you gotta be from a city that sounds nicer. Pontiac. You be from Detroit. You just can't. That's
They moved to some out,
Yeah, like
outer
where was
area.
that?
It's not city.
no.
It's obviously like a town, more like a small town kind of.
Well, obviously, but it
thing.
seemed like did they go to a different state? Like
I don't know. It feels like wherever it is, it's clearly in the middle of America and like Nebraska, some shit like that. Because it's like nowhere. It's literally nowhere, and no one says anything about it.
Right. Yeah.
Clearly, no one's proud to be where they're from. So
Mhm. They're just used to it.
yeah, she meets them, and then
And
she
then-
goes back.
Oh, and this is where she puts down cheese before she goes to bed for the mice.
Oh,
Gross.
no. So before
What?
this, when she talks to YB, that's when YB finally got more of the story. It was
okay.
like, tells the story of his grandma's twin sister being stolen when they were kids.
Right.
Witnessing.
So that's when he kind of elaborates why his grandmother
This is
doesn't usually
a dark
with kids.
movie.
Yeah, it is kind of dark, but this is like I don't know if you know a lot about like Neil Gaiman and his writing, but he's a
Never
darker
heard of him.
kind of dude. I like some of his
What
stuff.
else did he do?
Well, American Gods was one. That's one of my favorite books. He's written. I think The Sandman is another one that he's done.
Sounds scary.
He's got he's not known for his Pleasantville, USA shit. You know what I mean? He's pretty well known for his like darker takes on certain subjects.
But have they all been kid stuff or
No. I think
not
Coraline
typically?
might be the only one that is like centered around a child.
See, it makes me suspect about people. It's like, why are you trying to appeal to kids? What's your deal?
Because I think it's just supposed to be a scary kids book. I want to read the book. I don't know, man. Who knows?
Yeah.
Stop
Anyway.
weird.
Anyway, so he tells her all that. And I think that would even be more scary. But then she puts cheese down before she goes to bed because she wants the mice to come, and then she goes back.
Yeah, she goes back, and this time now we get to see it's more fun. We get to see the garden, and is this the one where they go where she goes to do the mute? Oh, it is the one. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
So they go to the other Babinskis and
she meets other YB, and when she introduces the other YB, well, he obviously has the button eyes, but he doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
And she's like, "I thought you'd like him better this way," because I guess.
And the fact that she was like, "You're right, he is better this way." I was like, "Man, fuck you, Coraline. You were an asshole. Like, come on."
Like, why does this kid not talk? I would need to know.
Because in what I gathered is in the eyes of the other mother that she's trying to make a perfect world for Coraline, and in Coraline's perfect world, her friends don't talk, which is because she's annoyed with him. Well, he's the only one there,
right?
So she can't really observe anybody else. So if she's been watching Coraline, she's like, "Well, she really doesn't."
Well, he got on her nerves.
Well, yeah, he's going to. Like, show me your friends that you met and you guys didn't get on each other's nerves right out the gate. You're supposed to. You're supposed to get on your friends' nerves a little bit. If you don't annoy your friends, who can you annoy? You can't annoy strangers because they might hurt you. Like,
you can annoy everybody.
you run the risk of getting stabbed by a stranger if you try to annoy somebody. Be careful.
Okay, so then they both go to Bobinski's,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they go to Babinski's and they watch the stupid
the
rat.
mouse circus.
That's gross. And is this when she talks to the cat?
No,
Yeah,
No,
well,
not yet.
is this the second one? Because she comes out and I guess the cat is this like hold on, because my notes
No,
are,
it's not it because then they all go back, take her to her bed, and the other parents and Whitey watch her go to sleep. That was some creepy shit right
that's
there.
pretty creepy.
How can you go to sleep with people just watching you
Just
like that?
standing there.
Weird.
Yeah, so this there's a lot of useless stuff here too because she goes
Yeah, because then she
shopping
wakes
with,
up. No, then okay, and then she wakes up in her regular room. Then
Yeah.
and then useless stuff, right? And then she, I guess when she goes back, that's when she sees the cat, and he
Yeah,
starts
okay.
talking.
He was like, because she asked him, she was like, "How can you talk?" He was like, "I just can. Stop asking questions. It's a movie. Like, what the fuck do you want? You want me?
It's like
you want me to
you're
alone?"
worried about me talking. You got this lady, your mother with buttons on her.
And
The
then
mouse circus,
But you
and I
want to
was
question the cat? Out of all the things weird going on, you want to question the talking cat.
that
he
that
does.
seems to be making sense.
By the way, this cat
Oh
voiced
yeah,
by the absolute
Keith David.
greatest
Yeah.
Keith David. I don't care what he is. He should be top billing anytime his voice is on anything because Keith
Honestly,
David's
yeah.
voice carries fucking everything.
He's
Yeah.
got a great voice.
He does. He
Yeah.
does.
It's hard not to be like, yeah, man. Whatever he says to me, I listen. Like that's how it's gonna go down, dude. I don't care what it is.
The way, because he's on Community like the last season or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I remember you telling me about it.
And
And
it's
then
so
he
funny the
tells her-
character he
Oh,
plays,
sorry.
the way he talks or whatever. He's got this convincing thing to him. So he's a good actor, good voice.
He is. So he tells her that the other mother hates him, and I think she asked him why. And
Well,
I think
he basically just says like, oh, she doesn't like cats. And that's
Well,
it.
because he can go where he pleases.
Oh,
He can
yeah.
jump in and out of these realms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is weird 'cause
Pleases.
he was doing like some fucking cat magic, I guess, where he was like half in one log and half out the other one on the other side, floating from here to there. And I'm like, I'm not gonna ask you how you can talk, but I do need to know how you're doing that. That seems important.
So, and then they go, or she goes to see Mrs. Spink and Forcible.
Ugh.
But they have this is the part right here. And there's the
This is too
theater with all the dogs in the audience.
More. There's a bunch of dogs now.
Yeah, like
a crap load of
it's
dogs
all
in the
dogs in the
audience.
audience. Oh my gosh, that was
Wait,
so.
Mom, say dogs.
What
Say dogs.
dogs?
All right. I thought there was a little twang when you said it that last time. I had to check. I had to
Oh,
check.
the dogs.
Dogs.
I've been listening to you. There's a couple of words you got a little bit
Anyway,
a little something in you going on there.
Dogs.
anyway,
Especially
but
when she says, like, have you ever heard Mom say audience?
shush.
It's like
Audience.
yeah,
Daughter.
the
Audience.
way her yeah.
Anyway,
I say daughter.
Yeah, it's daughter.
daughter,
Mom,
Daughter.
like daughter. Yo, son, daughter. You know what I'm talking
daughter.
about?
No, daughter.
Daughter.
Daughter. Okay,
Daughter.
sorry. Anyway, they go. So they watch this show with
It's
these
disgusting.
ladies.
Just say it. Like, stop beating around it. I'll say
I'm
it.
like,
This lady's
well,
titty.
Miss Spink, her thing was like this, like a strapless little bustier type thing.
Well, 'cause that's the thing. When they first come on, it's hilarious to me because Coraline shakes Wybie like it's a joke, and she's like, she's practically wearing nothing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
And
she's
then
actually
the way
pretty fully
when
clothed.
Miss Forcible comes out,
She
might
got
as
stars
well
on her
be
nipples.
wearing nothing. That's it. She's got 3 little tabs. She's got 3 little spots.
yeah, she got a little
One,
thing.
2 to cover her,
Oh.
nipples, 1 to cover her for JJ, and that is literally it. And I'm like,
This is when John is like, is this a kid?
I was just like, huh.
it was like
That's
this.
pretty. That's a lot of exposure even for an animation.
And the thing is, like, this is the logic too, because it's like for kids that's supposed to be funny, right? Coraline and Wybie don't see it as like anything other than ew. She's like,
Yeah.
they don't
But as
see
an adult, you're looking at it like,
Yeah.
okay, this isn't
and it's
appropriate.
yeah, that's what I'm saying because when Amira watches, she's just like, ew, gross, ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? But if I'm watching and I'm like,
Mhm.
why are
But
titties so big?
the adult dude who likes milfs.
Ugh. And then they come out of the fat
Oh,
character.
hold on,
Oh yeah, let me get some of that.
hold on. Let's not just gloss over what she just
What?
tried to put me out like that.
What?
You know, did you hear what she said?
No, what she said?
Adult dude watching it that probably is into older milfs
Ew.
is probably like, yeah, I watched just for this part. Right?
Are they milk?
They're gilfs at this point, but
Gross.
There
Yeah.
are some people who probably
if it was Patti LaBelle,
Stop.
I have nothing to say to that. It says everything it needs to say. I said what I had to say.
That would be a gilf.
Hey, look.
Oh, grandmother. Hey, true. Wow.
I
never
said
heard
that
somebody
already.
use that.
You know what? Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's happening. I said that. I literally said that already. And
Oh,
no
you
one
did?
said it.
I missed
But then
it.
you say it, and it's like, oh, thunderous applause. You guys suck.
I didn't hear you say guilt. But
I
that's a
missed
good
it
idea,
too.
sure.
That's like when you tell a joke in class and no one hears it, and the kid next to you just says it louder, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this guy right here!" And you're just like, me.
Can I tell you
Something.
something? That literally happened
What
to
was
me
that
where I said
on?
something out loud and then everybody like was quiet and then somebody else said it and it was like and I was like,
What was that on?
I don't know. It could have been on a lot of things.
No, but something specifically lately, and then they accused that person of like, why are you trying to take? He's like, I said that, and he's like,
Might have been
why
the
are
Key
you
and Peele
trying
thing. I
to?
think it was. I think because I saw it. I know it's a Key and Peele sketch for sure.
Oh, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Key and Peele. That was hilarious.
But
Ew, he's
yeah,
got
so
a new movie coming out. Ew, have you
I
seen
know
the
I want to
preview?
see it. Yeah, I'm gonna see it.
I can't.
Anyways, we're back to this gross lady and her giant titties for no
Oh yeah,
reason,
then they come out of their fat bodies.
which is telling, right? So they come out of those bodies, and the bodies underneath have the button eyes, right? They didn't have the button eyes, but the bodies underneath their little pro suits
Yeah.
eyes. So
They were wearing them. Ew.
yeah, but not just that, because you got to think about. Remember, she created this perfect world.
yeah.
We find out later that the only real person here is her.
Right.
Everything else is created. So it's kind of weird because I don't know where they came from or what they are. Because later they are something, but we don't really know what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Watch. We'll get to it when we get there.
Okay. And then that's when she goes back, and I guess when she said she had a surprise for her. I can't remember how she came.
Yeah.
And then she's like, gives her this box like a gift, and she opens it, and it's got buttons with the needle and thread in there.
Yo, and this shit, now this is where the movie kind of freaked me out because she's talking about the buttons.
Yeah.
And the dad slips up and he was like,
Oh,
it's so sharp, you wouldn't feel it there.
Yeah.
And she, like, but it was so crazy because I was like, yo, what?
It's so sharp.
What do you mean?
Oh my gosh. Yikes.
That sounds terrible.
Yes.
So sharp you wouldn't feel a thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, bro. Like, so
crazy,
okay, so
though.
back to this person who wrote this stuff.
Neil
Like,
Gaiman.
he seems like a person who just like, I think he wants to scare kids. I'm like, what?
This is the only one though. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of his stuff isn't necessarily like.
I know.
Scary.
That's why I'm saying it would be different if he wrote mostly kid stuff. What's a little disturbing for me is the fact that he doesn't, and then he decides to. So he's like, you know what? I want to scare some kids.
But
like,
I also think because this isn't a time where everything was trying to be adapted to something. I don't think that this story necessarily. I've never read the book, but I don't think that the book is like this is a book for kids. I think it's not. I think it's like more of
okay.
for adults that just happens to center around a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this
And
is
then
a
when they adapted it into a movie, they
they tried to make it
decided
a
to
kids
try to
movie.
make it a kids
Because
movie
one of my friends was telling me that because she's read the book and she's telling me
because
like
they wanted to do an animation.
yes, and that's really what it came down to. They
Okay.
had because I think this is the first movie from this animation studios, and then they would
Okay.
go on, like Paranorman and different other movies. I think Frank and Weenie and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember all of, but there's a lot of movies like that where they're, you know what I mean, like they're of this from this style, and a lot of them are creepy. So that those two things go hand in hand now.
Okay.
It's
So it's like they
kids
found the book
animation.
and said we need to adapt
Yeah, that's what I think. I
a
don't think this was
screenplay,
being
and the
trying to
only way
scare
you can
kids.
pull it off would be an animation in
Can't
reality.
do this live action. It would look
Right.
stupid.
No, I would.
It
Okay.
wouldn't be the same.
All right. I'll give the author a break because I was
Yeah,
like, what
please.
the heck,
Like, why you
weirdo.
don't start attacking this dude?
Okay.
You know?
So, okay, let's move forward with this story because it starts getting real creepy. So
Oh,
she's
yeah,
like,
because then she goes to sleep, right?
she goes to sleep, but
Because
she's
now she
still
wants
in
to
that same
wake
bed.
back
That
up at home.
yeah,
And then she wakes
Yeah,
up and
okay.
she's
You're
what?
right, because what happens is she's like, oh, I don't want to put buttons on my eyes. She was
Right.
like, well, if you want to stay here, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do. And then she kind of was like, hold on, I'll sleep on it. And then she goes
Yeah.
and she was like, just go to bed, just go to bed, just go to bed, go to sleep. And she wakes up and she's
And
still
she's
there.
still in that room.
I'd have been like, oh, Jesus.
That's what I put. Wakes up still in the fancy
hey,
room.
I was stressed out because I was like, oh heck no, she woke up in that same room, like.
And this is where you I was gonna say, Johnny, you just went sideways. But
Sorry.
this is where she meets up with Keith David Cat. He doesn't have a name, so I've just been calling him Keith David Cat. And
He doesn't have a name, huh?
they meet up and he starts they start walking, and he's basically, because everyone's asleep now, she ends up seeing the other dad. And
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking on the thing with the cast, and I just went to look, and it says Keith David Cat.
oh, then look,
Yeah.
I am 100% accurate in my description of this cat, Keith David Cat. But she does. She goes and talks to him after she sees the dad, and he was like, "Oh, we're not supposed to be talking when mother's not up."
Oh,
And
yeah.
it just sounds so creepy. This is some more Mike Pence shit, man. Like, it's just weird, dude. Like, calm the.
Mother.
I don't like the name Mother. It just gives me creepy vibes
It
all
is.
the time, especially when a grown man says it. Like, a kid or even like
Mother.
it's already bad, but it's like a grown man is like, Mother. I'm like, shut up. It's like so gross. So fucking gross. Ugh. So yeah, he meets him, and the fucking piano is basically shushing him. He's like, shut the fuck up. Piano. How's the piano giving this dude like mob threats? It is insane. And yeah, so she's just like, oh yeah, Wybie made a long face, and she fucked him up. Like,
It's true because at one of the parts, whatever, when she was over there, and Wybie went like this, and then
like
she
he didn't
said,
want to leave or something. It was weird. I didn't understand why that happened. Because if she created the perfect puppet, wouldn't he just be like, all the puppets started rebelling? Like, that's the weird part.
Well, they would probably always try. She was the only human in there, so she was bringing out their, whatever it was, probably.
Well, we do find that out later for sure,
Yeah.
and then it comes around to it. But yeah, she meets up with Keith David Cat, and he's basically like, yeah, see, the other mother is she wants children. She needs children to love, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. And he was like, why? He was like, I don't know, maybe because she's just weird like that. I don't fucking know. Like, but yeah, so he basically breaks it down like this world is just a creation. There is no end. You can't walk away from it. All that other stuff. Like he was like, but unless you're me,
yeah.
I want. And then he kills that mouse, and he was like, see, look, it's a fucking rat.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because it was sounding an alarm. It was
He
doing a little trumpet
he said
thing.
something like, "There's nothing I can stand." He said, "I can't stand worse than a rat." Or
Oh yeah,
something.
no, he said I don't even like rats in the best of times. He was like, and I really hate these motherfuckers right here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, so
That's crazy. He really broke his neck right in front of her.
I don't know if he broke his neck, but he
Well, it
bit
was
into
like
it. There was a crunch. There was definitely a crunch. But
whatever, he finished the job.
this is around this time. This is when she does get into it with the other mother. They start arguing back and forth where she's like, yo, straight up and down, I don't want to be here. And I'm not going to be here. She was like, that's no way to talk to your mother. She was like, fuck, you don't know my life. Like, Coraline was kind of like not in a position to be mouthing the way she is. And yet she is like, yo,
For
chill.
real.
Because you don't know. And then she started turning into the other thing.
Yeah. To the
See, this is
witch-like character.
She's
why
like
you
a
don't fuck with
spider.
them. Yeah.
Is that what she was? Ew. Oh,
Kind of.
yeah.
Yeah. But and the fuck was that? Oh, is that you? Somebody gulping? What was? I heard a sound and it was gross. Maybe it was in my head. I don't know.
I'm like,
That is not good. That is not good at all.
All right, so that creature lady comes out. She's her neck's all long and stuff like that. And then she's like, well, for basically disobeying her, she throws her in this dark room.
right.
Yeah.
Scary
And
as hell. Because I'd be like, oh God, what's gonna happen next?
And that's when those children come out.
yeah,
Oh,
and this is where it kind of gets like interesting in a way, because it's kind of like, okay, how long has she been doing this? Because there's 3 kids at least, and all 3 of them from apparently different eras. That first kid, none of them remember a lot about them, but that first kid, the way he talks when he was like, "Thou art dead," and he was like, "Okay, you're from like way back, nigga." Like, you know what I mean? You're.
And one of them said something
early
about,
settlement
I
shit.
don't remember a lot about my life, but I do remember my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
So-
in the book, it goes into details about, like, they go into more details about the things that they do remember, but they don't do it here. So it's kind of like, it's like, oh, the Bedlam. Yeah. Or the Beldam. Is it Bedlam? No, it's Beldam. There it is. I kept saying Bedlam. I think I even wrote it. She's the Beldam, which translates, so I looked it up, it basically means like creepy old witch.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's an accurate description, I guess, but it's not an explanation of what it is, of what she is and what she did, because she was like, oh, she took our eyes and we get them back, I guess. I don't know. Fuck.
well, yeah, that's basically what they were saying. Like, get our eyes back, miss. And
Yeah. Oh gosh.
that was creepy as hell.
That was
But then,
very creepy.
then you see her snatched out of nowhere, like, and you wish
that was creepy.
Yeah, she pulled through a mirror and she's like about to fight Wybie. She's going off, but it was the silent Wybie trying to help her get out of there.
His ass.
What?
I said she judo flips him. She's like, and then she's about to throw hands. Wybie like, nah.
Hey, she's about to mess him up.
So she was ready to throw them hands, man.
Hey, I don't know. I believe her. She got some fight in her.
Well, yeah, she ain't going down. Like, no. But I will say, at this point, this movie is starting to take way too long. Because I feel like around here should be the climax of this movie.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Another like 25, 30 minutes left. And I was like,
yeah,
I see what you're trying to do. Like, they wanted this to be a bigger movie and have all this whatever, but god damn, they
had to have, well, you gotta have, they wanted to get to their, what I would call their crescendo scene, showdown or whatever, but they needed other things to happen, I guess.
I don't know. It just
fill it up. I don't know.
I have a rule. I just don't think that any movie geared to children should be more than 90 minutes. That's a stretch. You know what I mean? That's an hour and 30. You should be under that.
Yeah, it was like an hour and 40.
You need to be an hour and 15 if you're catering to kids. An hour and 5, like, is your minimum I'll allow. Like, but you can't be going close to 2 hours.
I'll give it an hour 20.
It did have some of these things that I feel were unnecessary to the movie itself, especially if you ain't read the book or whatever.
I feel like that's the problem with doing certain things like this. Like
you have to be able to make it work without any reference that would have been better received if you had read the book. In other words, you have to make it as if it looks like a movie that wasn't written about a book. Basically.
Well, yeah, it's like I've never read Harry Potter, but I wouldn't need to having
Yeah.
watched it. Now,
Yeah.
if somebody says, "Oh, well, you're missing this, this, and this," I'm like, "Well, it doesn't matter because the movie is
Right.
coherent."
It
That's why I
still grabbed up the gist. Another movie, like I always say, it was like that was The Color Purple. Although I did it the opposite way. I saw the movie first and then I read the book. So it was very interesting when I read the book. Like, dang, it's like basically expounded on things that were hit upon throughout. But they did a good job because I wouldn't have known anything was missing, if you will.
And
So
that's the gift, because like even like Jurassic Park and stuff like that, like if you've never read the book, you're not gonna feel the need to go do it because the movie kind of is pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to go back and be like, man, I wonder what I'm missing. Like it doesn't really give you that in the movie. And if you're gonna do that, like the problem with this one specifically is it does do that, where it feels like
you're missing something.
Like stuff missing, and instead of watching Coraline go shopping for fucking gloves, maybe we should be doing some of that shit. Like, it's fucking pointless stuff.
Yeah, we didn't necessarily need that.
You know what I mean? All the exposition comes from Wybie, and it's useless mostly because he's just like, well, I can't talk about it. And then he was like, okay, well, I can talk about it a little bit. And then it's like, and it's literally just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and then from then on, the cat is the only person who does anything, but all his stuff is basically his feelings and opinions about the other mother. No facts involved. He's just like, yeah, she doesn't like me, probably because she can't fucking control me. Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like he's just, but there's a lot missing here, which is why I kept saying like I want to go read the book, because usually if I watch a movie based on a book, I don't really have to do that because I'm like, all right, it's fine. I got everything I think I needed, and if I'm missing something, it's not gonna change how I feel about it after that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's just
we get the general gist of this movie, but I mean it still moves forward. There's some things that could have been removed and it wouldn't affect the story.
Filibustering, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could have been removed, and I think it would still be the same movie.
Yeah. So, anyways, at this point, he helps her out. She gets out of that place or whatever. She locks the door or whatever, and she finds that she can't find her mom and dad. And Whitey finally comes over for the doll and says it was his grandma's sister's. So my thing is, she knows about the doll and she tried to keep it.
Well, here's my thing though. I think, and because the movie doesn't explain it, the opening sequence is her getting the old doll, the other mother clearly getting the old doll, fucking tearing it inside out and making a Coraline doll and then sending it back into the world.
Mm-hmm.
So either grandmother never knew that the doll was changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She never knew that the first doll is now the Coraline doll. But the point is because
because she probably just put it away or it's been away and she hasn't looked at it or whatever.
Yeah, because we find out from the cat that that's how the other mother spies is through the doll.
Oh, right.
Spies on them. That's how she knows so much about Caroline's likes and dislikes and how she was able to craft the perfect world for her. So where her parents are neglectful and boring,
right?
She created parents who are attentive.
So she found this all out. Did she know this? Just as of because again, we don't have reference.
She probably knows. She probably does know a lot. The grandmother, because she knows that her sister was taken, and she.
No. I'm talking about Coraline and her family. So when did she have an opportunity? Was it since they moved?
That's what we were talking about with time, because the way they talk, it feels like it's been weeks. But the way
but also it seemed like she was making the doll before they moved there.
Yeah, she was. But here's the thing.
She had to. Well, I'll go with this. My theory on that is because we know that that she spies through the doll's eyes. She must have known that the grandmother rented it out to a family with a kid.
Okay, how did she know what the hell she looked like?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm like wondering does she have power in the outside world? Like
that's exactly what we're talking about. Like this, is why I need to read this goddamn book, because there's so much missing here that I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm watching anymore. Like, I just don't get it. I'm lost.
Yeah.
That
And I'm
makes
not
no sense.
easily lost.
Yeah.
Well, so anyways,
Thank you.
he came to get that doll.
It's like my grandma.
Because it was his grandmother's.
Mad
And
or
I think
whatever.
she kept it because that was the last thing she had that was
Her
property
real
of her
sister.
sister.
Yeah.
But also a big problem is Coraline, she can't find her mom and dad anywhere. It's like they left everything and like they just never came back. And so she's
The
sleeping.
food was all bad and everything.
Yeah.
Which to me is like, how long has
How
she
long
been?
has it?
She was gone. She had to be gone for a minute.
For a cool minute, because the steak was bad. That's one thing, but it was molded over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a minute for
That's more than a day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not gonna happen just when you get it and leave it out for the day. You
Yeah,
could leave
it was at least a
out for
week.
2 days and it'll be good.
Well, no.
Leave
I
out
mean,
for
it
about a
might
week.
take 3 days for it to get
Yeah, it's gonna
to
take
that
3
degree.
days for it to be starting to like get rancid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so okay. So at this point, I was looking at my notes. I'm trying to
Like
figure
you
it
just
out.
discovered.
But so at this point, I think she runs into the cat, and she's but the cat doesn't speak or whatever, but shows her to a mirror, to one of the mirrors in the house or whatever, and she sees the mom and dad. They're like got snow on them and stuff like that, so they're in a cold place apparently. And they're like, I don't know if she knew like she was right there, but she starts writing help on the inside of the mirror.
Yeah.
I think they did see her though. I think that was the thing. They saw her, but they couldn't speak to her. And so she did. She wrote help. She wrote help us or help me or help us.
Yeah,
and
help us.
Amira was like, she wrote it backwards. So then I found myself trying to explain like the mirror effect kind of thing. And I was like, I don't know how to explain this. She didn't write it backwards. It's just backwards because of the way she's looking at. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then she basically gets her gear up. And she's like, yeah, I gotta go get my parents back after I said I didn't like my parents. And they
I told mom and dad, because they're sitting there watching with me. I was just like,
Dad watched it too?
I'm gonna be honest.
Most of it watched him.
For you.
You're not coming. You say you're not coming back?
I don't know for sure if I would have. I'd have been like,
look, here's the deal. Here's how it would go. If I
don't ever let anything happen to us. Oh my God.
This isn't a normal situation. If I felt like confidently that I knew I had a good, at least like 65% chance of succeeding, I'd go for it. But if I didn't, I would have to involve the authorities somehow. And I don't know how much help they would be. I don't know how much help they would be, because they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Mirror people crazy?
Imagine trying to explain this to somebody.
Bro, but here's the problem with that, because a lot of this seems like it's in two different worlds, but we find out that the Beldam can go into the regular world, and she just hasn't been able to.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't had a key. That's it. The fuck?
Oh, right. Because she took the key.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't know, man. I feel like, once again, there's just so much unanswered here that it's like, it makes this movie less enjoyable than it should be, because it should. Other than that, like, it's a decent movie, but all these different things that just like don't add up. And I guess if you're a kid, you don't give a fuck, but I'm not. So I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you're not, but you're also Tracy. So that's irrelevant, because you were like that as a freaking kid.
Yeah, man, but it's worse now.
Oh yeah, no, you're older and you got more life experience.
You can let things slide. Like, I mean,
but you would clearly say stuff like that would never happen in real life.
When I'm watching anything, even if it's like supposed to be more realistic, I try to throw reality out. I'm just gonna immerse myself in this weird world.
No, he could not, and he would ruin a movie just because of that.
Yeah, no,
that would never happen. Do you know why? Because blah blah.
Yeah, you know how annoying it was having a brother that every time I watch anything that I like to watch, Oh, that's stupid. That would never happen because, yeah, no. I've been going through this.
I feel
I've
like
been doing this forever.
these are all negative critiques about me, and I'm going to choose to ignore them
Just
right
saying, no, it's not negative because look at you now.
He's just as bad. What are you talking about? It still
Yeah,
doesn't say
but now
anything.
he has a platform and it's
No,
good.
it's even worse. I can't just enjoy certain like comic book movies
all I'm
just out of the
saying-
enjoyment because
I'm
he's got to be like, nah, that's stupid because that's not how it was. And I'll be like, oh my.
Well, that's why
Just let me enjoy it.
you watch things with me. Like I had this argument with somebody when we were arguing about X-Men First Class when I was like, that movie's trash. And he was like, well, I really liked it. I was like, well, have you ever read the comics? She was like, no. I was like, well, then that's fine. Like, but you're trying to convince me that it was a good movie, and I'm telling you it's not. Like, but
And you got to think about it, everything in layman's, as if.
no, see that, but that's dumb. That's like asking a doctor to listen to somebody who doesn't know shit about medicine to tell them. Like, you ever see that episode of Scrubs when the dude he went in to get treated, which is dumb also, right? He went in because he was feeling some kind of way, and then he looks up while he's in there with what the fuck is the doctor's name? The sarcastic asshole.
Yeah.
Kelso?
No,
Yeah.
not Kelso.
Oh,
That is Kelso.
No, Kelso was the
Oh,
old
no,
dude.
it's the
other
old dude. Yeah.
oh, that's
I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he goes in there and he's on WebMD looking up his symptoms and telling the doctor that he's wrong. Like, that's what that is. It's like, okay, you're right. You're the expert. You know everything. Like, you don't know shit. Like, if I read comics, I'm not like a super duper expert, but I know enough that I know when a movie is flawed. And I'm
But
just like,
no, but not that. But if you're watching it as somebody who does
he
it
Dr.
just as a
Cox?
movie itself,
Dr. Cox, yeah.
Yeah.
if you're watching something as just a movie in itself and it's enjoyable, whether or not it's supposed to be like that, you
Okay.
just gotta let it
Okay.
be.
So there's a
fair.
balance, though. There is a balance because some stuff is just so ridiculous. I can't even, in my imaginative self, take myself because they just keep taking you to the worst, most unimaginable thing that's not even enjoyable. It's just stupid.
Oh
Then
yeah.
I call it at that.
Well, yeah, but that's true because it's just like even with like this Doctor Strange thing, I didn't like the original. I didn't like the first Doctor Strange because he's
But I
boring.
didn't read the comic book.
But I mean, not even like I think he's boring. I think the character itself is pretty boring. And then in this new one coming out, we were just talking about. There's just so much stuff that they keep
Trying to throw in there.
giving away that is just like, yeah, but why should I care at this point? There is no balancing act anymore because now it's just like, all right, man, you're trying to just do so much to get everyone interested that it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Back
I mean that's
to
what
our
it is.
movie because we're not watching Doctor Strange. Goodness,
And I'm not going to.
you are. You're going to. You're gonna complain about it and you're gonna watch it.
I haven't even watched the Spider-Man shit yet because for the exact same reasons.
I liked it.
I'm sure you did.
I still want it.
And I'm sure I would like it too, but I couldn't do it while everybody was talking about it like it was the greatest thing to ever happen.
Oh yeah.
Read.
True.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's okay.
That's why it took me about 10 years to watch Titanic.
Oh, that
Because
movie
the hype was just ruining it.
Whatever. It was a good movie. I like that too.
sucks. It is 4 hours long for no reason. I ain't got no time for that shit.
It was
Right, right.
in the VHS. It was two tapes.
I don't have time for 2 tapes.
Back to the movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Glad this movie
So
ain't got 2
she
tapes.
goes back for her mom and dad, whatever. That's cool. She's tough.
She's
I
not.
don't know. My parents would be screwed. But so the
Information.
cat was talking about, when you go in there, why don't you play a game with her? She likes games,
Oh,
suggest-
yeah.
Yeah. So she goes in there.
She says she can't resist, which is weird to me because it almost seems like this is fucked up, but it almost seems like some pedophile shit where it's like she relates to kids on such a base level that because they love games, she loves games. Like, it's fucking weird, man.
I don't know.
It's
She
weird.
lures kids.
Or
yeah,
also it makes you think,
sort of in the realm of
what is the cat been doing?
pedophile.
Just messing with her.
Well, yeah, no, he says that he's been fucking with her. Like, he says it. He was like, yeah, I do what I want. I come in, I just make an appearance. She gets all crazy for no reason. Like, yeah, He was like, one time I kicked over one of her plants and she freaked out. Like,
That kind of.
and then I can imagine it and keep David's voice, him saying shit, but like, hey, you. Yeah. just taunting her.
You know what? It's actually really fitting of him
Oh, it would be.
to play that part.
I can see every time she tries to go to sleep that he comes over and starts reciting the Gargoyles theme just to bother her.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
All right, what happens next, Jada?
Yeah, because I'm
so-
done with notes at this point.
I know she gave up after a while, but so Coraline suggests a game to find the ghost eyes or whatever, and her parents.
Time out, because we do miss because this is important for what you're about to get into.
Oh.
She does go to see the gross ladies about her parents missing, and they're just like, oh, the poor thing. Well, the other lady is just like, what? So we're not gonna get to go to the play or some shit like that. Like, man, her parents sure picked a.
Oh yeah, because they were gonna give him a ride. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe it. Your parents are so selfish, Coraline. But they give her this thing, and it's just like it's like a witch's eye, I think is what it's supposed to be. And it basically just allows you to see shit. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But you can't tell. Like, she's looking through it, and she's like, "Oh, thanks," but didn't realize how much it would come in handy for this game she presents, where she's like, "Hey, if I find the eyes of my parents,
No, the eyes of the dead kids. She didn't take the parents' eyes.
no, the eyes and her parents." She
Oh, I
said
think
also,
the eyes of my bad.
Yeah.
no,
that's what I'm saying.
those
Apologies,
kids'
apologies.
eyes, the ghost kids' eyes, and her parents, whatever. You get to let us go, whatever. And she's like, and if you lose, she's like, you get to sew these buttons in my eyes. I was like, whoa, hold up.
You even make yourself say that.
Yes,
I wouldn't have said that. I said, let's just make it a game. If I find them, we get to go. If I lose, I get to go.
And that's the thing. She's going like all or nothing here, because I would have been like, and if I lose, you get to keep my parents. Like, that would have been, I'm not making myself a part of the deal.
Hey, your kids look,
Oops,
Mom.
sorry.
Just be glad crazy stuff don't happen in real life
I'm
like that.
screwed. Okay.
But if we both screwed, if I lose and I bet both of us, then we're both screwed. Like, what do you want me to do? Wouldn't you want me to live? Wouldn't you want me to survive?
Hey, I think what made it harder is that, like, she's the only child. If we had all four of us, I think we could do it.
Hey, yo, I promise you, if between the four of us, we would jump that lady so quick. It doesn't appear like when we get to it that she has any like magical fighting ability other than being able to create the world and stuff. Like, we just throw hands with her. Like, I promise you, Maya is not letting that lady go down. Malcolm is not gonna let that shit go down. I'm not letting that shit go down. Like, she's not gonna make it out, bro. We're not even gonna worry about going through the door, because she's gonna have to be worried about trying to get away from us.
That's true. That's
Like,
true.
you gonna call us up and be like, yo, mom just got taken by the bell dam. Like, I seen this movie. Let's go, yo. Let's do it. Let's make it happen, bro. Yo, I'm ready. I got brass knuckles. I got whatever you need. Like, Dad's got random stuff in the garage that we could use to beat the shit out of this lady. Like, it's cool.
Hey, we do it. But see, we could do that. We could team up together.
Yeah,
that's true.
Me alone, Mom.
she should have brought. See, that was her problem. She should have brought that Russian dude and YB, and they could have tag teamed the shit. That Russian dude could probably do it by himself. By the way, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, all Russian dudes are crazy. So, I 100% believe he could have took her by himself.
He probably could have. He's pretty tall, tall, strong.
Yeah. So get back to what happens.
Yeah.
We're finally getting close to this movie, and I'm tired of talking about it.
All right. Let's keep going. So in the movie, so she's going out to seek these eyes. Well, first she gives her a riddle, which I don't remember the riddle.
Yeah.
But to be honest,
well, it was something like, oh, if you look, I'm in all the places that you like, or some shit like that. Like, all the places that were built for you. And
it's something about the kids because then she said something like, and my parents, like to get
She didn't give her the clue as to where her parents were.
right,
Only
just about the
eyes.
those kids. Yeah, the
She
eyes
had
of the
to figure
kids.
out where her parents were.
So she was like,
And she was like, fine, I'll figure it out myself, or
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing though, because you know what? Sometimes kids are smarter than they let on. Because when she said that, when she goes and my parents, and she starts pointing at her eyes, which is weird, Amira was like, "That's a clue," and I was like, "What?" I don't understand. And I'm like, maybe she sees something I don't, man.
No, I think she just be seeing things in general.
I don't know. Maybe she was on to something. But she's
Your
also
child's
seen this
different.
movie.
Your child is like the cat.
She's also seen this movie 100 times. So I mean,
yeah, there's that.
there's that.
So moving forward, she after that riddle, she goes, looks in the garden, and no. She goes to April and Miriam's, and it's
I thought she
scary
goes
as
to the
hell.
garden first.
Huh?
Did she go to the garden? Hold on, because I have it in.
No, she does go to the garden. You're right. She goes to the garden, and actually, the dad, at first, he stops her. He tries to stop her or whatever.
Right.
Like, no, you're not gonna get it, because she sees it with that little stone triangle thing. She's like, oh snap, and she spots the eye, and it's with the dad, and the dad's like, oh, I don't want to hurt you, but then you see him at the end. He like tries to go over the bridge, and the bridge goes through. And she's like, here. He's like, here, take it, or whatever.
Yeah.
And she gives her the eye, and then
did you notice what he looks like now?
yeah, he's all fat.
He's a plant. He's like, because like the more he starts to deteriorate, his hair starts turning into like vines and leaves. I think he's a pumpkin. Like, because he even says it when she's taken away. He's like pumpkin. Like, I think he might be just like a pumpkin that she turned into a human for this purpose. Like, fucking weird, man.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy. But he gives her the eye. Honestly,
Like,
I think the riddle was, you didn't really need the riddle in this movie because
she didn't get the riddle either. She just went to the places that existed.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. They don't complete. How do I say? It's like they start. They're going somewhere with something, but then they don't follow it through.
Yeah, because it's like,
so that riddle thing didn't really follow through in the whole scheme of things.
And that's the thing, because the riddle was supposed to be about the places she's been while she's been here.
Right.
Yeah.
For her, but that's the whole world. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was irrelevant, kind of.
Donna, we saw that shit.
Yeah.
What are you eating?
Fruit, grapefruit.
Ew, gross. Get out of here, you old lady.
Good.
Hey,
Fucking
I thought
90.
that, right?
All right. So anyway,
I said what I said.
quiet, you're an old lady. So anyway, she goes to April and Miriam's, and it's empty. It's an empty theater or whatever. But she sees like what was it? They're like worked together, kind of.
Like
they're in a cocoon.
dogs. Well, they were first. It was the vampire dogs was the first thing she saw up, and then she had like that cocoon, and she saw the thing in there, and they're like Medusa looking creatures with snake hair and shit like that. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand that, because okay, I get the dad being made out of plants. What the fuck are they?
True.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because it's like, it's not like they were made. These are creatures.
Yeah.
That are here to kill. Like, do they hang out with her? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is the deal? But they try to
answer questions still.
She just gets the bat dogs to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they were hanging upside down.
Yeah, that shit was creepy. I ain't gonna front. Those bat dogs gave me nightmares.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Those things are fucking out of line, man.
It's so weird for them to be bats, but the dogs at the same time.
So you know what? Just to say this, back to like you're talking about all this filibustering that seemed unnecessary because they wanted to do all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's why.
I don't care though.
It just didn't meld. It didn't work well. Like the story and the things that were happening just didn't flow well together. So it seemed like it was just unnecessary.
I would like more of that energy to be put towards what this other mother actually is. Like, to me, that's the stuff. Like, whenever I watch movies like this, like any kind of, the reason I don't like slasher fix, a lot of like slashers like Jason or Freddy, there's no real explanation to anything. It's just like, oh, Freddy was in hell and then he got to come back and taunt kids for no reason. Like, what the fuck? Why? Why was he able to come back from the dead and kill people? Why? It doesn't make it like there's no. Give me something. You know what I mean? At least with Michael Myers, you're like, well, he's just some guy. You know what I mean? He's not dead. He's not
still not good enough though. Why? Why?
See, that's the thing. Until like the later series, which don't make any sense, he's been trying to kill his sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like the whole thing. People just keep getting in his fucking way. But he's trying to kill his sister. Then it's like, okay, I think it was Halloween Resurrection, where it's like a TV show was like, ooh, stay in the Michael Myers house. And then he kills all those kids, but there's no reasoning for it. And then there's another one, H2O, where it's pretty much the same thing, where it's like, oh, there's no reasoning for him to be here.
Yeah, it's just, but that's the whole thing. They built a story, more story as time has gone on, trying to
that's the
piece
thing, they
it together.
Like, at least with Jason, it's the same thing. Hey, those kids are fornicating. Not on my watch. Like, that's it. That's his whole thing. Because his mom was like, oh, these damn fornicating kids. And now he's like, you know what, Mom? You're right. Anyone who comes up to Camp Crystal Lake to have unprotected teenage sex, not while I'm here. No, 35. That's not this wholesome Christian maniac. Like, that's how that works. But it's just, it doesn't make any sense here, because give me some more reason. What is she doing? All we know is that these kids are ghosts. We don't know if she ate them. We don't know if she took their soul. We don't know anything.
They just say she needs them.
But why? We don't know. You know what I mean? Because even the cat is like,
it's the why.
The cat is like, oh, she needs someone to love. And I'm like, none of this makes sense to me.
Yeah, no.
We ghosts.
It doesn't.
Why are there ghosts? If she loved them, because they obviously consented to the buttoning, they even say it. They were like, yeah, we let her do the fucking button eye shit. And now we're ghosts. And she took our eyes and find our eyes because we took the eyes to become these. And then the other guy was then over there. There's so much missing here that I'm just like, I need to know the why. Like, okay, the other mother shit, fine. Why? What is her?
Just because she wants to love. She's just one of those toxic people that needs to
still
love.
doesn't. No, I know what he's saying. It's still. I mean, it's like, oh, that's like dropping a little thing in there. Oh, it's because of this, but in reality, it's like an isolated. It's nothing. It doesn't make the story make sense. Exactly. And I guess because that's why they wanted to do it as a kids movie, so they didn't have to.
But that's what happens. It's like the end of a movie when like all this stuff happens. They're like, oh, what's going on? And then somebody just like magic. And you're just like, no,
for no reason.
It's just magic. What can you do?
It's just conflict.
It's conflict.
Even that, that's a perfect example. What the fuck was that? Even Click, he's like, oh yeah, I'm the angel of death with a magic remote. What the fuck are you talking about?
But it was all a dream, so it works.
No, was it? Was it?
It was. I don't know.
Was it?
I don't know. But I love that movie. It made me cry.
Until the end, it rushed right through the end of that movie.
All right, so continuing on, the last ball or whatever she spots, it's with Mr. Bobinski, which he's not even Bobinski anymore at this point. It's just his circus outfit that he had initially when she went into.
My guess is that he never was. That because she's creating these people.
Yeah.
It's not like she got a real Mr. Babinski. Yeah. I think he was always a bunch of rats in a people suit, and Coraline just couldn't tell the difference because she wasn't looking for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's just creepier now because they were just like, yeah, we don't even give a fuck anymore. We're gonna slink around. And he was like, why you want to leave, Coraline? No, everything you think is going to be better at your boring house. And she was like, yeah, I guess. At least I won't have buttons for eyes.
Yeah.
He didn't even say that. He was just like, but no, you're not getting it.
She's right,
Yeah.
But so continuing forward,
she throws that stupid thing at him, and then
she does.
And then she cries about it. I was like, that was stupid in the first place, you idiot. You don't throw it. That's your only weapon here.
Right? Of all the things that were around you could have threw, you threw that.
You moron.
Retard. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Come on, Jada.
Sorry.
Horrible.
But anyways, continuing forward, the cat ends up getting the ball from the mice,
Right.
because he's like,
Way
you know
he
what?
said it too. He was like, I saw you struggling back there. I wasn't gonna help at first, but then I was like, nah, you might
He
need
didn't
it.
even care, really.
Clearly, you can't do this without me.
It was,
So
yeah,
at this
so
point, the
goofy.
world is collapsing or whatever, and she gets back, and she kind of tricks the mom into opening. She doesn't even know where the parents are. She's like, where are your parents? That's the last thing you lost or whatever. And she's like, no, I know where they're at. And she's like, okay, well, produce them. And she's just like, they're in that door. She points to the trap door in which she crawled through. And I guess that was tricking she didn't even know at first, but then she looked at the snow globe on the fireplace, because it's snowing and that's where her parents were, in a place where there's snow. And she was able to grab that thing when she wasn't looking. And she's like, they're not in there or whatever. You kind of lost. And so what happens? How does she escape at this point?
Well, basically, she gets the snow globe, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but somehow the whole room just turned. Well, because she realized she tried to trick her, and then the whole room starts turning into like a spider web-esque thing. Or she throws the cat at her too, and the cat claws out her eyes.
Oh, yeah.
They're buttons, so who gives a fuck? But she claws out her eyes, and she starts climbing, and she closes the door on her. The ghost kids somehow are able to help, and that's weird in and of itself. But the ghost kids help her close the door. Exactly how? What the fuck? And the ghost kids help her close the door, and all that's left is that little hand, which obviously is going to come back later because duh. Like, and then so she's like, "Oh, we did it, yeah." But my parents, the parents come back. They don't even know what happened. They're just covered in snow. It happening. It's so
like
stupid.
nothing happened.
Yeah, they're covered in snow, and they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about, Coraline, you fucking weirdo. Like, weird. And then she goes to sleep. The cat's there. She has, I think, either it's a dream or the ghost come to her, and they're basically like, but you're still in danger. Oh, like I was like, yo, what? But then they're just like, hey, but it's not all bad after all. You helped us. And I was like, so fuck you, ghost kids. Like, I'm still in danger, but you guys are cool, so everything's cool. Like, get the fuck out of here. If I would have known that, I would have left you guys to rot. You guys are already rotten. No one's gonna know that your souls are at peace.
Except for the grandmother's sister, maybe.
She's not gonna know either. She still doesn't know.
Yeah, there's no indication that her life has changed.
And there's no indication that when Coraline tells her that she believes that shit.
True. Well,
Yeah,
no, she does believe her because of that doll.
Well, we don't know what the doll represents. We just know that it was her sister's. We don't know if she knew the story. We don't know what she knows. And that's another part of this that's bothersome because she's clearly telling Wybie all this shit, but she's not telling him enough to where it matters.
True. And why did she finally rent to people with a kid?
She wanted somebody else to get captured.
She's like, you know what? This. I need the money.
She's like, I don't even care anymore. Whatever happens to that little girl happens.
Or maybe she thought so much time has passed.
I don't know.
It's probably not a problem.
That she knows what happened. We just know that the sister went missing.
Yeah, it's like, but the way he said it, she doesn't usually rent to people with kids. So
That means
you don't get an indication. Like, see, you don't know. And this is the thing when it comes to books, because there may be something in the book that states that she had some kind of, maybe the whatever other mother had a thing over her. You know what I mean? And she had to, or something. And maybe that's why she knew so much about her.
So we talk about the book. Is it a chapter book?
Yes.
I'm sure it is, Jonna.
Okay,
Yes,
no, I'm just making sure because I'm like, I mean, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs wasn't a chapter book, but it became a movie.
Well, it's also, I feel like that's a lot more simpler, and they just had to stretch it. That's definitely the definition of like a children's book made for turned into a children's movie, whereas this is like a book adapted to become a children's movie. You know what I mean? It's like any Disney movie. It's like all those dark fairy tales and stuff like that.
Yeah, why don't you choose the darkest ones?
because no one had done them. That's honestly what it came down to. When Walt Disney made Snow White, he didn't know that it was going to be a hit. He just needed a movie. This was the studio's first animated film, and they picked a story, toned it down, and made it palatable for a larger audience. And they just kept doing that same thing because it worked.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The
And it was
formula
very
is
successful.
freaking
Snow
deep
White.
dark story.
Yeah,
Make a good kids film.
Snow White was their first one, was the most successful, but then it was The Little Mermaid that basically brought them from the point of bankruptcy, and that was like from then on, it was like, okay, this is our standard. We have to just keep doing shit like this. We got off track with a lot of our shit. We started doing weird movies down the line. There was a Sleeping Beauty somewhere. We can't keep doing that weird stuff. We gotta keep it simple. Women in Trouble. That's our movie.
I mean,
and it is, but still kind of a running Disney.
Probably overall, they have a little deviation. I say Lion King wasn't Women in Trouble.
What are you talking about? Nala was in trouble.
no, she wasn't really in trouble.
But she
like
wasn't
that.
the focus until Beyonce got in it.
I still haven't watched that shit.
I haven't either. I can't deal with the lips and
the no expressions.
Yeah, I can't do it.
My cartoons work better.
Okay, did we finish?
Yeah, it's basically over.
She goes, they're basically like, because the ghost kids tell her that she has to, well, she figures it out. I guess the ghost kids don't tell her shit, but she figures out that she has to get rid of the key so that the beldam can't get it anymore.
Oh,
and that's it. So her idea is to put it down the well, and then she gets attacked by the hand.
I remember now.
Back because
a la Jumanji.
Yes. Oh my God! It's like, of course the hand came back. Of course it did.
It's like at the end of Jumanji, and they do, whatever they buried, and then here go them drums.
Yeah, it's dumb because she's out there and she's fighting against this hand, and then YB saves the day with fucking salad tongs or whatever. Like, I don't know. He gets the thing, they wrap it up, they put a rock on it, and they throw it into the well. Now it's fine, and then we get to the end. Yeah, we get to the end, and she's like, oh, just bring your grandma by and I'll explain everything. And now I guess in the matter of a day, they have a full-blown fucking garden.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what happened here. In a matter of a day, that garden is absolutely 100% perfect. There's color in this world again.
Yeah.
And Russian guy is taking the flowers out and putting beets in because he's a fucking weirdo. Basically, I mean, that's essentially, for the most part, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Grandmother comes over and she's like, I got so much to tell you. But it's like, look, lady.
It's not good information.
Yeah, she's talking like it's about to be the greatest thing that ever happened to her. And I'm just like,
grandmother's gonna be like, my sister died.
And she was killed by an evil witch. So closure.
Evil witch spider.
Yeah, it's just like closure.
With button eyes. Yeah,
so Jada, I swear to God, if you don't try to sneak shit, like, we can't see you. We can see you eating the goddamn grapefruit, you old lady.
All right. So, are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'll go first.
No. Oh, yeah, it's not your movie. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on, let me put this thing up here. Boom.
I give this movie, you know what? I'm not even going to say it's within a category of kids movie, but overall, as a movie for anyone, I'm going to give this a 7.5.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. At first, honestly, the first time I watched this, I didn't want to watch it again because it was creepy as hell. But overall, good movie choice because it does fit the category. It's got a mad mom, or wanted to be a mom, and interesting movie. So,
mother.
Okay, so I didn't want to see it because we know I don't really like scary stuff at all, but also the inconsistency of everything. I mean, it grabbed me in the early part of the movie, But again, at a certain point, I was just like, yeah, when is this thing over? So for me, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Also, now, but in terms of did it meet the criteria? Definitely, she was a crazy mom. So yeah, that was good. You won on that one.
All right. Like I said, I've seen this movie a bunch of times, and for the most part, it's a decent movie. I wouldn't say good, I wouldn't say bad, but it is a movie that like I'm into. Like for me, because I'm into shit like this anyway. It's a decent movie, but I give this movie like a 5 because it is. There's so many open questions that are never gonna get answered until I read this fucking book, and I just feel like it's too long. It's way too long. And I feel like once the movie ended, it didn't, and we had to do another 10 minutes of shit. Like, I don't have time for that, man. Let's go. Let's move it on. Let's wrap this shit up. And yeah, 5. You get an even 5.
Wow, that's sad. Even for this movie, like I
Just
feel like
didn't
that could have
deserve
been better.
it. Well, it could have if they would have done better.
No, your rating could have been better.
Yeah, if they would have done better.
Mhm.
Do better, you get better.
That's how it works.
We finally got away from swinger energy, which is good. So, Mom, you're up next, and somebody is lacking, schmacking.
Well, she's last of us.
Well, I should have been last, but because Jonna is taking her sweet ass time, Jonna was supposed to be first.
No.
Yes, your pick was supposed to be mine. I'm supposed to go last.
Oh, well, I had my movie ready already.
You did?
You I thought because Mom's like, no, you go last.
Whatever.
So
Whatever.
Oh yeah,
Whatever.
because it was your pick.
well, so whose movie we're doing?
Well, we're doing Mom's movie.
Oh,
Okay.
mine is.
She hit the group chat.
Yes, because you ignore.
Oh,
but anyway.
what am I supposed to put it in the group chat?
Yes.
All right, I'll do that.
Mine is Monster-in-Law.
Oh man, I love
J-Lo
at
and
least I hope I still love
Jane Fonda.
Honestly, I think
I haven't
I
seen
was
it in a
still.
while, and I'm just hoping I can still like it holds up.
I can
'Cause I
already
like
say, in a lot of ways, it probably didn't age well because it's one of those movies in that time.
Yeah,
In certain ways,
yeah.
but it's still. I know it's still gonna be funny.
Probably one of those few movies with Jennifer Lopez that I can actually watch.
Yeah.
She's got a hit with these kind of movies.
Well, she's
Some of
not
these
really
kind
good
of
at anything. And if it wasn't for the supporting cast, I don't think this would be watchable either. Because we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, on that note, hold on, let me see. There it is.
We finished it out. Finished this movie.
Yeah, we hard finished this movie. I'm not watching this ever again. I don't think so.
That's it.
I'll catch it again in
That's
another couple of years.
You think you're getting away, but October is around the corner, Mom. And we're gonna find.
You're gonna have to get a new
you're gonna find
placeholder. Yes.
No. We're going to listen. We are going to find a way to do this just for you, so that you can watch it and it won't be scary or whatever you're.
Yeah, they'll be traumatized.
The movie I'm picking is gonna be
in the middle of the night. I know.
We'll do like psychological thrillers or some shit like that. I don't know, but we'll get you. We'll get you in there. You can't ditch on us just because you don't want to watch. I had to watch freaking Hitch and that stupid movie that Malcolm picked. I don't want to. Let's.
Which one?
What was it called? Our Family Wedding. That shit was trash.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
Because you guys have bad. Well, that's the point. I don't want to watch that movie, but I did.
Yeah, but it's not going to do something to you. Me having nightmares is different.
You don't know.
Hey, no, for real. I'm surprised I didn't have any nightmares from Coraline.
You don't know my triggers.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway. We are out here. I already hit the applause, and you guys are still talking.
Oh, bye.
All right. So, family real.